Welcome to 5 exercises to improve your forearm stand. Hi, I'm Jelena, also known as Kick Ass Yoga, and this is a beginner-friendly tutorial. We're covering 5 easiest and best exercises that can prepare your body for forearm stands, and we're also looking at the most common problem areas. Forearm stands is a arm balance, and you're basically standing on your forearms. As the name says, in Sanskrit, it's called Pincha Mayurasana. Sounds easy so far, right? So many people get really excited about forearm stands because it looks a little more fancier than a headstand. So the head is not on the floor in forearm stand, just to get the bases right. And most people are so excited, but then they realize, oh, it's far more complex than they thought. And I need to be the bearer of bad news. I know I'm aware of that, but I'm also here to help you with it. So why is it so complex and more challenging? Because we need to be able to hold us upright with bent arms. So we need shoulder flexion with a bent arm, active shoulder flexion. For example, in a handstand, we have straight arms and we need active shoulder flexion with straight arms. So when we bend the arms, it gets more challenging, and that's where we start to need a little bit more flexibility in the thoracic spine to maybe compensate for a lack of shoulder mobility. But what happens if you're lacking shoulder mobility and your thoracic spine is rather stiff? Let's say back bends are really challenging. Then you have a perfect recipe for really suffering in a banana-shaped forearm stand. I know, it sounds funny, but it's true, and it can be painful if you don't prepare properly. So let's change these problem areas into areas of comfort, of strength, and I'll show you 5 ways how to start practicing for your forearm stand. Starting off with puppy pose, and puppy pose most commonly is taught as a passive version in yoga classes. For passive puppy, you bring your knees mat width apart. Depending on the feeling in your knees, you either have the top of the feet flat or tuck toes under. Try to keep your hips over your knees. Avoid shifting too far forward or shifting back. Just try to keep hips here. Then you walk your hands forward. And for passive puppy, we're trying to bring our chest or chin or whatever can reach the floor towards the floor, opening the thoracic spine. Most common problem is people are using their lower back. Instead, pull your belly in, block the lower back from moving, and instead focus on stretching your T-spine and your shoulders. To transform this puppy into an active puppy, which is more a core exercise combined with a shoulder stretch, you keep this the same. Just walk your fingers forward, come onto your fingertips, keeping your hips over your knees, and now pull your chest in, pull the belly in, and try to drop your armpits to the floor. And you will notice this turns more into a shoulder stretch than the one before. It's a little more exhausting. You will feel your core, but this is the way to work on active shoulder flexibility. So through active and passive puppy, we are already starting to work on thoracic extension and shoulder flexion. Now we're combining those or adding them into a more level up puppy pose, which is dolphin pose. And it already starts to resemble a forearm stand because we are on our forearms. For dolphin, you'll bring your forearms down to the floor. To measure the distance and avoid having your elbows out too far or too close together, you grab the middle of your upper arm. You really grab, place your elbows down, and then bring your forearms down. For dolphin pose and for forearm stand, you have the option of keeping your forearms parallel, your palms flat on the floor, or you can interlock your fingers and bring the last little pinky into the fist to have 2 solid edges to press onto. I feel interlocked fingers is a little less challenging on the shoulders, but maybe you're more comfortable here. From here, whichever hand variation you have, push your forearms into the floor, lift your knees up, and push your hips back for dolphin pose. Over time, we're trying to extend our legs the same as in downward facing dog. We're trying to bring our heels down without rounding the back. If this is too challenging, bend your knees. You know the drill from downward facing dog. Avoid opening your chest. Try to pull your ribs in, and at the same time, avoid leaning forward. Instead, try to push yourself back, opening the shoulders, learning to strengthen the shoulders in this angle. You can start by holding your dolphin pose, maybe for 10 seconds, 20. Over time, go for 30-second holds and breathe. And then you can also add 1 foot more towards midline and extending one leg up. This already starts to add a little more weight to your forearms, switching legs, and will eventually prepare the kick up into your forearm stand. You can add games like Dolphin core push-ups. You start in dolphin pose, trying to lean forward, maybe with your nose over your fist or tapping the floor and pushing back from your shoulders and arms. Go for 5 to 8 reps to start to strengthen the upper back. And now it's time to bring all of that together and really start to kick up towards a wall. So you need wall space and you can use your mat. When you start to kick up, think you want to bring your butt to the wall rather than your feet, because that might help you really get up and get there. But you'll see what I mean once you start. So we start the same way as for dolphin. Measure, grab the middle upper arms, hands really close to the wall, either forearms parallel, palms flat, or interlocking your fingers. Then you're lifting your knees off the floor, look down between your elbows, and then you combine a hop with a swing to get your legs up to the wall. Try this a couple of times so you start to learn how much force you need to really get up. If you're brave, switch legs. And don't stay too long up there, because I need to give you one more tip to avoid arching in the lower back. So once you've tried these kick-ups, which is the base to get up in a back-to-wall forearm stand, you will probably notice that it's pulling you into overbalance, into an arched back. This area lengthens and you lose a sense of control through the core. To avoid that, we're just gonna bend our knees. We're trying to create a straight line from elbows, shoulders, hips to knees, and just keep the feet at the wall. This looks like this. So you end up here. I'm arching the lower back. It does not feel comfortable. And then I'm just bending my knees. I can tuck my tailbone. This is arched, anterior pelvic tilt. This is posterior pelvic tilt. I'm lengthening the lower back. I'm still pushing up from my elbows, and I can hold here, breathe, maybe even relax the neck, pull my chest in, open the shoulders more, and just hold in this bent knee forearm stand. And breathe. Come down, rest and repeat. And here's a little bonus tip for everyone who thinks or feels this is very easy. Here's how you can start to balance from bent knee position. Once you've tucked your tailbone, lifting through the shoulders, you can bring your legs together. Reach one leg up. Switch. And as soon as the foot at the wall feels light, you can maybe bring your legs together and balance freestanding. Let me know if these helped and which pose I should cover next. And did you know that I've written a couple of ebooks about inversions? So I've got a Kick Ass Inversions guide about forearm stand and headstand, and a handstand for beginners ebook. Both are available on my website and currently available through the My Wellness bundle, which is more than 40 ebooks together combined as a digital collection. And you can find out more in the caption and through the link in my bio. Until then, happy practicing and stay safe.